So, over the last 8 years, I've learned a bunch of different skills, which has in return helped me make hundreds of thousands of pounds on the internet. Which is why today in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 high income skills that I think everybody should be learning right now, starting with the first one, which is personal branding. So, firstly, what is a personal brand? So, a personal brand is just like any other brand, really, but this one is completely owned by you. The way I like to put it is it's basically how you want the world to perceive you, and it can be created in many different forms, from how you position yourself online, how you share your core values, and even the way you dress. Now, if you can master the art of the personal brand and do it right, it can be an absolute goldmine when it comes to making money in both a business and even a workplace setting. Let's take Elon Musk as an example. Now, of course, some people will know Elon Musk as the founder of companies like Tesla and SpaceX. But here's the thing, when you actually get asked to describe Elon in a couple of sentences, you will likely refer to his futuristic vision, being a risk taker, and also being one of the world's biggest advocates of innovation. From here, he has become a thought leader in this space, and despite his crazy outbursts sometimes, you can't argue the influence his personal brand has had on the world. I even remember back in 2020 when he posted online about wanting to buy Bitcoin or something, and it sent the price absolutely crazy, which is just another example of the impact your personal brand can potentially have on the world. We're really starting to see a new trend right now, just like I mentioned, that people are moving away from investing and trusting companies. Instead, they're more interested in the person behind it. So how can you start or clean up your own personal brand? Well, what I suggest is a really quick and easy exercise, and I want you to do this after this video. And basically, what I want to do is challenge you to sit down with a bit of paper or whatever you have in hand and just write down, number one, what are your 3 core values? And then number 2, what do you want to be known for? That's all you have to really do. And I think that once you have done that, you're going to have a much clearer idea of what your personal brand is going to look like. And I can almost guarantee it's definitely going to open up more income generating opportunities for you in the future. Now, the next skill that I suggest learning is some form of content creation. Now, for me, I can honestly sit here and say that picking up a camera and learning how to use it was by far the best decision I've ever made, both in my business and corporate life. And when I look back, all of these opportunities, and it's crazy for me to say this, have literally come from me sat in my flat around 8 years ago, learning how to change the settings on the back of a camera. Because you see, here's the thing. Everyone thinks that when they hear about content creation and all of that, it's all about your own personality and being in front of the camera, doing silly dances. This literally couldn't be further from it. All you literally need to do is learn how a camera works, learn things like the exposure triangle and compositions and everything like that. And from there, everything else is all about your own ideas and how you can get them across best on video, whether it's you in front of the camera or someone else. Also, content creation, just like all of the skills I'm talking about in this video, is completely universal. What I mean by this is that you can literally take it anywhere in the world, and almost every single business out there, you can pretty much make a case for its need. It's also completely free to learn. Me personally, I've never paid a single penny on an online course, nor do I have any kind of degree. Everything that you need to know is either right here on YouTube, or you can just Google it. The only thing that you do need, of course, is a camera, but other than that, you just need to get out there, start creating, and watch how quickly you can develop this into a skill that can generate a high income. AI. So unless you've been living under a rock, AI is pretty much the number one thing driving the world of technology at the moment, and it's growing at a ridiculous pace. And right now, I would say that AI is very much just like how the internet was in the 1990s, where people knew what it was and knew what it was in its basic form, but didn't really know its potential. Because at the end of the day, this is what I think. I want you to actually ask yourself, how many times have you actually sat there with your parents or maybe your grandparents and they've said something like, oh, I just don't get all of this technology stuff these days, these smartphones, this internet stuff. I just don't know what's going on. And you're sitting there saying, like, come on, it is what everybody in the world is using these days. Like, you can't even get it. Well, if we don't stay ahead of the curve with AI and how fast it's developing, it can easily be people like us saying these same things in 5 to 10 years from now. And if you want my honest opinion on all of that, it bloody terrifies me. So with that said, how can you actually learn AI, and where do you even start because of how big it is? But what I would say absolutely is that step number one is all about making yourself aware of AI and the possibilities of it. Now, I'm just going to assume that most people by now know about the basic things you can do with AI, such as using ChatGPT to write emails or maybe even do your spell checking for you. If you haven't, well, there's your starting point. But if you have, I think now is the perfect time to actually start exploring further than the basics and actually testing the potential that it can bring you in its current form. Start exploring other AI apps. I definitely recommend following some AI related blogs and YouTube channels and just keep up to date with things. I actually do have a warning as well around AI, and that would be essentially to not get too tied up on mastering just one of the tools. I think with the pace it's going at right now, this could be a really risky play with new tools coming out almost every single day. A good example to not get tied up on one app is this video going around of an AI Will Smith from a year ago versus the AI version now. As you can pretty much see, it's very clear on how things have evolved in such a really short space of time. Next up is digital marketing. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever been given is you could have the best product in the world, but if you don't know how to market it and sell it, it's pointless. Which is why I think learning the widespread skill of digital marketing is so important, and it can open up so many high income opportunities for you in the future. Just to clarify, digital marketing has many different aspects, and it can actually be mistaken for numerous types of other marketing. But the main areas that I'm focusing on in this video is web design, social media, and paid ads. Some people have even said to me that they think that web design is too competitive right now, and I think that's just absolutely ridiculous, because if you think the same, just think this, right? Currently out there right now, we have an estimated total of 334 million companies who all potentially need a website. Now, the first argument is that, oh, I've already got one. That's absolutely great. When was it designed? 10 years ago? Longer? You're probably going to need a redesign. Or what about those that even have a great website up to date, but their business changes all the time? Who's going to be there to change it? And yes, there's going to be people out there that argue that web design has become a lot more accessible with platforms like WordPress, Squarespace, and Wix now around, and they would be absolutely right. Web design has got easier and it has changed, but here's one thing that will never change. That is your time. And it's the lack of time that is going to make things like web design and the other areas of digital marketing generate high income opportunities for you. Just touching on a few of the other areas, paid ads is another great one. Basically, if you can learn the art of persuasive copywriting, then becoming a paid ad specialist is going to be another really lucrative opportunity. Currently, in the UK, the base pay for a skill like this is around 32 to 48 grand a year, which is well above the national average. I also mentioned social media, and here's another one. How many times have you heard people say at your work or in your personal life, oh, I just don't get LinkedIn, or what's this bloody TikTok thing all about? And it's sometimes these people, which are the ones that actually own the business, which of course creates a great opportunity for somebody that does understand it to come in and help them grow their company. Just one place where you can actually go to learn social media, and more importantly, social media marketing, and I think it's really good, is actually a website called Skillshare. If you've heard of it before, then I'm sure you've probably looked at it, but if you haven't, it's really good. And in fact, you can pretty much learn all of the stuff that I'm talking about today. What I'll do is I'll just put a link to a free trial below if you did want to take a look at it if you're interested. So they are the 4 high income skills that I think you should be learning in 2024 and beyond. Do you have any thoughts on this? Are you currently learning any of these skills right now, or even using them, and you have some examples of how they have produced you an income? If so, let me know in the comments section below. But other than that, I'll catch you in the next one.